All right, good morning. Welcome to July 12th. Good to see you this morning. Today's reading will be Isaiah chapters 43 through 45. So what we find in 43, we find that God's not done with Israel. Israel's about to be carried away before the century's up from when Isaiah is written. So there's a little bit of encouragement. It's a reminder, yes, there's going to be judgment. That's not eradicated from the last 27 chapters. We're going to start talking about judgment, deliverance, redemption through these couple of chapters. Remember in Romans 11, Paul asked the question, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. I like to use the term shelved. And God's dealing with the world through the church right now, and then when we get back to the tribulation, then that'll be Israel again. Chapter 44 has the promise of the Holy Spirit, which is kind of interesting because the Holy Spirit was promised by Jesus but not delivered until John 22. It's just interesting that as a group, Israel didn't have this happen to them. A certain number did. So this kind of makes me wonder about what it's going to be like for the Jews during the tribulation or during the millennium. What's the Holy Spirit's role going to be there? Some interesting questions I hope to study and figure out. And then the second half of 44 here talks a lot about idolatry. You're worshiping things that can't even do the things humans can do. They can't speak, they can't think, they can't smell, they can't taste, and yet you're worshiping them as your gods. Now, the last verse of chapter 44 talks about Cyrus, and then most of chapter 45. It's interesting because Cyrus is prophesied by name 200 years before he's born. So, of all leaders, Cyrus wasn't the most famous, wasn't the most mighty, wasn't maybe the greatest leader. But what Cyrus did is Cyrus is the one when they get to the Babylonian captivity. And then remember, the Medes and the Persians take over from the Babylonians. It's Cyrus that allows them to go back to the Promised Land. So this is still in the area of encouragement and redemption. But it also does another thing. As Isaiah has prophesied the birth of Jesus Christ and his reign, and so for the Jews to be delivered and to come back to the Promised Land, they could also be sure that the prophecies regarding the Messiah would be true. Notice that God calls Cyrus a shepherd. All right. Hope you have a great day. Looking forward already to seeing you tomorrow. Catch you later.